This is Owen Mavengere. He is one of the top guys at ICAS, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe. And I'll tell you what, he would love just to be one currency. Owen, welcome, sir. It's good to see you, mate.
Good to see you.
Are you well?
I'm well, thank you.
Owen, okay, first of all, let's talk about the one issue, before we get into some of the other issues that I'd like to talk to you about. The one issue which is prevalent, that most Zimbabweans, companies are talking about, is this issue of audited accounts which have been given sort of bad, not given, they're not being 100% confirmed by the auditors, all around this issue of functional currency. Like I saw a report the other day about one of the top telecom companies where they were saying, but you have different subsidiaries, one's doing it in Zim dollars, one's doing it in US, one's doing... First of all, what is a functional currency? And frankly, if I'm using in US dollars, why can't I use US or Zim dollars? I mean, why suddenly do you account and say, yeah, you can use them, but then you come in and you don't certify my audit? Yeah, you guys are naughty. What's going on?
Not at all. So the profession definitely supports the ZIG, and it's one of the topics we are going to be discussing next week when we bring together the top finance directors and finance professionals in the country in Big Falls next week with the governor. So it's certainly something we support, right? And coming to what is a functional currency, how do I explain this? I don't want to put people to sleep. I mean, they've just woken up. So,
it's true. That's what I said, guys. You know what I mean?
So
you need them, but hey.
Yeah, so it's really the currency that's the primary or the predominant currency in your operation.
So if you're, say, a retail operator and most of your customers are using ZIG, your functional currency is ZIG. If most of your customers are using US dollars, your functional currency is US dollars. So why don't you qualify the audits then when someone does that?
Okay, so I think there's a lot of judgment. Right now we're in this transitional phase, right? So we are moving from, obviously, the US dollar to the ZIG. So there's a lot of judgment being applied where you need to do those assessments. Which currency is really dominating, you know, and which currency do you do your budgets in, and do you do your pricing, and which currency really influences how you do your business. So because of the transition, and unfortunately, this is something that started prior to the 5th of April when we introduced...
Yeah, because it always has been there from last year. It's not a new thing, is it?
It's not a new thing.
Yeah,
so
but it's worrying, though, because sitting back as what I do as a market watcher, when I hear auditors not qualifying large, massive multinational corporations, yeah, immediately your thought jumps to, is there fraud? Is there something wrong with the books? Then you read it, and it's basically about, are you using the US or the ZIG or... doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of those qualifications, and you're absolutely right. They send jitters across the market, and investors get anxious when they hear about that. The good news is, I think, like you rightfully said right at the start, I think we are heading towards a transition where we can get back to normalcy, clean audit opinions.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really plagued us in the past was the parallel market rate, the disparity between the official and the parallel rate. But the standards, the accounting standards have been amended to assist us with that.
Oh, okay.
And secondly, with regards to us transitioning to one currency, once there's stability, and then remember inflation, that was another nightmare.
So that's another nightmare, yeah.
Those hyperinflation adjusted figures.
But which is good now because there's no longer hyperinflation, right?
No. I think as long as we maintain this stability, we should be fine.
Yeah.
So we're all hoping for...
Tell me, okay, so as you said, sorry, I had to ask you that question because a lot of people are like functional currency. But anyway, winter school in Victoria Falls, you said next Thursday. Talk to me about that. I mean, what is the theme? What's the objectives? Who can come? Is there still places available for guys to jump in and come?
Yes. So this year's winter school is really exciting, right? We've got speakers from all over the world. We've got the IFAC president. She's Moroccan.
Oh, right.
Right? I think she must be the first female or something like that. I'll need to just double check that. So she's flying in. We've got members from all over the world. We've got, of course, the governor.
Yeah, the governor will be there. I won't be there, but I'll take that with him later. But yeah, that's nice. The governor will be there, so he can answer your questions directly.
The Deputy Minister of Finance.
Oh, Honorable David Mugagwa.
I saw Kuzi Sharara just a few seconds ago. He will be there.
Oh, wait a second. Kuzi, you're going, and not me. No, I'm coming to talk to you just now.
I think we'll fix that, Andy. Really, yeah.
Can you see I'm angling for Victoria Falls?
I've just committed on national
but it's a very important conference. I mean, it's where finance directors can really just sort of muck out all the stuff that they're worrying to them, get talked to by accountants, understand the issue. So it is very relevant.
It's very key. We've got over 300 delegates.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's the who's who of the economy. And now this is a good opportunity for the governor to engage with us, for us to engage with them. You know, obviously, this support from government, private sector, it's mostly private sector players. So this is where all these conversations are going to be had to say, you know, how do we move forward? I mean, we all have one objective, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We want to just improve our country. You know, it's weird because, you know, I feel sorry sometimes for accountants because you just get different SIs all the time, don't you? Like SI this and suddenly you got to change SI that and all this issue of revaluating properties and inflation adjusted accounts. I mean, that isn't a way to operate accounting. I mean, let's be honest. It doesn't make any sense. Anyone looking into Zimbabwe must think we're going mad in terms of accounting-wise because they don't understand.
They don't understand.
Yeah, is that right, yeah?
Yeah. But all these conversations, starting from next week and into the future and the stability that we're experiencing, that's the pathway to returning to normalcy, yeah.
Now, what I do like, though, is ICAS is also embarking on various projects to try and assist governments in particular to standardize the accounting principles and accounting methods, not just in government departments, but also in local authorities, yeah? So that everyone is talking the same language and they're doing the same accounting principles. Talk to a little bit about what you guys are doing to really pull government and local authorities into one standard accounting principle.
Okay, so right at the outset, I must acknowledge the Ministry of Finance. This was their brainchild. Remember, they said we want to bring in transparency. They want to bring in efficiency, better decision-making. So the best way to achieve that is through international public sector accounting standards. These are just as good as the ones that you use in the private sector, but just slightly amended to make them specific to
relevant to that public sector.
Yeah. So essentially, it means you'll be able to pull City of Harare financials and put them beside, you know, Econet or City of, rather, Town of Shurugwi and compare it with Delta.
Exactly, which is what you want, like with like.
Yes. So we are just there to support, and what we've done is we've developed a whole program, and we've got over 400 undergoing that program. We've got another short course where we've trained over 1,200.
Wow. And there's a deadline for these guys to get on board, right? It's what,
yes,
January?
1st of January 2025. Everyone migrates to international public
sector. Which is great, though. It's great for our government's accounting to know where the money is and who's spending it. And also, as the Minister of Finance always says, we can start creating a balance sheet at last.
That would be interesting to see the balance sheet for the country.
Oh, sorry, guys. That may sound a bit complicated, but in essence, let me explain. The government accounts don't have a balance sheet. Why? Well, because what happens is that, let's say that they build a building, okay? What do? They write it off over 10 years or whatever until it gets to zero, okay? Then it disappears, right? But now they fix that, I'm hoping now. Now they have to put the real value of the building in. You need to start building a balance sheet. So what you have in government is liabilities but no assets, which is a bit of a problem as well.
In fact, under cash accounting, you have neither.
You have neither. Yes, true, you have neither.
You only recognize something when you've paid for it.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you owe, and you don't know what you are owed, and you don't know what you own. Right?
Guys,
so that's why I was saying, you know, just to commend the Ministry of Finance, because they came in and they're like, you know what, this is not the best way. Let's have, you know, a proper accounting system across.
Now, I will also tell you, and that if you get the ICAS certification, I will tell you that most of the top accountants out there running huge corporations around the world have ICAS. In fact, ICAS is probably one of the few certificates in Zimbabwe. You have it, you can pretty much get a job anywhere, which is sad. I don't want you to go anywhere, by the way. You must stay in Zimbabwe because we have a shortage of accountants, right? Like a huge shortage.
We do. Sadly for us, I think our greatest strength is also our greatest weakness in the sense that global mobility, right? So the South African, Zimbabwean, and Namibian chartered accountant, in my view, are the best in the world.
Right, I agree.
So as a result, more than half now, it's 53% of our members are outside the country because they are highly sought after.
Yeah, it's true.
So we have to try and compete to keep them local, but now you've got these international corporates also coming in to scramble for them.
I'll give you an idea. My brother, Jim Hodges, has an ICAS. He's an ICAS member, and he is the regional representative for the European Investment Bank in Southern Africa, based in Pretoria. So that gives you an idea about how well regarded the qualification is around the world and how high up some of the people have gone. Right, so just to wrap up with Owen here. Okay, let's quickly then talk to our viewers. Winter school, major issues about the winter school. When is it happening? Where is it happening? And then we can move on.
Okay, thank you, Andy. So the winter school, that's next week on Thursday in Victoria Falls. One of the greatest attendances we've seen in recent memory. We've got high-level speakers from all over the world. Your deputy minister is attending as well. Our governor is there. IFAC president, international speakers. We've got the president of Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand. His name is Tinashe Kamangire.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? I rest my case. I rest my case.
And we've got all these delegates coming through to discuss, the things that are going on with the economy and see how best we can improve as a country. So it will be a lot of interesting conversations.
A lot of interesting conversations.
And with regards to last-minute entrance,
yeah.
we had closed it,
Oh.
but I will make a commitment on national TV.
Oh, there you go.
I think we'll open it up if there are any last-minute registrations.
Oh, there you
that
go,
need
guys.
to
So it
come
was
through,
close registration, but Owen has just agreed to open it up. Owen Mavengere, one of the executive directors at ICAS, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Zimbabwe, talking about the winter school and also some of the issues around accountancy and the challenges they're facing. Owen, as usual, so it's a great pleasure. Pass my regards to everyone at ICAS.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
up the good
Andy.
work.
Thank you so much, Andy.